Gabby, I love you.
Welcome to Interview with the Indies. Today we have the Hollygrove Hoochie Daddy, the Pro Wrestling Ego Styles Champion, Raza Rayleigh. Oh my God. He's been wrestling for 4 years, but not only that, he's a veteran. He talks about how that helped him learn wrestling quicker than some, and what it means to be the Hollygrove Hoochie Daddy. Keep watching, enjoy the video, like, share, comment, and subscribe. Oh my God.
I'm from New Orleans, Louisiana. Grew up in a family of 7. Mama had 6 boys and had that little girl at the very end. Kept trying to have little girl. Finally had it. I grew up with a single mom, and pretty much my grandmother and my grandfather loved wrestling. Love it. So every Monday, Tuesdays, and I believe it was Saturdays at the time, go out there and watch Raw and SmackDown Monday and Tuesdays, and then watch Velocity on Saturday. Then eventually went from Monday to Friday to Saturday, then Monday, Saturday, Sunday, because they had ended up adding Sunday Night Heat and all that stuff. So I just became a fan at a very young age, and eventually I was like, this is something I knew I was going to do. Didn't know when I was going to do it, didn't know how I was going to do it, but something I always wanted to do.
Were your brothers fans? Was your one sister a fan as well?
All of them fans. I remember growing up just wrestling my little brother, wrestling my big brothers all the time. Always getting hurt. Parents take me to the hospital, broken arm, bent up back, sore neck. 6 years old, 7 years old, all sore up and banged up going to school. Parents, teachers calling, wondering why I'm hurt. I actually grew up in Hollygrove, New Orleans. Hollygrove back then was more of a much dangerous area as now. You know, we actually got a few raps come out of there. You know, we all know Lil Wayne came out of Hollygrove, New Orleans, Louisiana. So which I actually try to incorporate in some of my artwork. You know, I actually come out Hollygrove Hoochie Daddy, sometimes Hollygrove Bandit. You know, make sure I let everybody know where I'm from because it's such an iconic place. Grew up with my grandmother, my grandfather. Very poor area. Everybody getting so pretty much I started working when I was like 14, 15 years old while still going to school. My older brother did the same thing as well. Hurricane Katrina happened. We ended up going to Natchitoches, Louisiana. We stayed in these what do you call it? FEMA trailers. So we stayed in these FEMA trailers for maybe like a good 6-7 months. From there I used to go from store to store. Pretty much I used to panhandle when I was younger. Because we was pretty much poor. We lived in the FEMA trailers. Once I was like maybe like 15 years old when I came back down to New Orleans, I actually ended up going back to high school, graduating at 17, joining the Army, coming back from the Army, you know, where everything started to feel more comfortable. Once I left the Army, once I left and came back, everything felt more comfortable. Family felt everything. My brothers and sisters were working and everything. It's just kind of like the struggle younger brought us up to where we all like, now we're solid individuals instead of being just a collective of 7 kids.
Y'all had goals and y'all wanted to reach, and now y'all are, you didn't let your past, bring you down.
The direction where people when Hollygrove was coming up from and the area I grew up in, I didn't go to the best high schools. I having a 3.2 at a public school in New Orleans isn't like having a 4.0 at St. Augustine somewhere. So just growing up was a different. Having that mindset, being like one day I'll be a star, was way far fetched. Like saying I'll be an astronaut, I'll be president. It was just so far fetched. It was till I started coming back from the Army. I'm like, I could do this. What stopped me from doing this at this point? You know, 25, 26 years old. What stopped me from going out there and becoming a professional wrestler? You know, but growing up in the where I came from and everybody in my surroundings, it just didn't seem like it was a possibility that was going to happen eventually.
And what made you want to go to the Army?
I used to always play Call of Duty all the time. I used to love Call of Duty. Oh my God. I've had every single Call of Duty that ever came out. So when I was 16 years old, you know what? I was looking at playing a game. I said, you know what? I could do this. I could definitely do this. So I went out to Kenner, got a recruiter, met with a recruiter and everything. And yeah. And then once I met him, I got so many promises that I was like, oh man, look, you sign up for the Army, you're going to get a Mustang. You sign up for the Army, the girl's going to love you. You sign up for Army, I'm going to get you a house. All that sounded good on top of me wanting to do Call of Duty stuff. And then when I got in there, I got a chance to do the Call of Duty stuff, but the Mustang never came. The house never came. So, there was the stuff the recruiter promised me never came, but, I got a chance to do it because of the love I had for a video game.
Did you take any of that with you to wrestling?
Well, I tell you one thing: to be in the Army, you gotta be tough. You know, so a lot of times where I wrestle guys that are veterans, they actually think I've been wrestling longer than I've been wrestling. Because a lot of times, well, that's for instance, when I'm ready to get attacked or something, I'm right in your face. There's never been another chance where I'm cowering up. And also, I've used all my moves you see in the ring, all those punches, every kick I swing, every knee I swing is something I learned in the army. You know, I didn't just do anything that I never seen or done before personally. Um, but just working with older guys, they could tell that my life experience and my ring experience doesn't match up because it's like, okay, you've been here for doing this for 2 years on your own, and you're moving like how we moved when we was doing it for 20 years. So, I mean, you can tell that my maturity from doing it in the army, being in the army, has definitely showed its way inside the ring.
So, speaking of being in the ring, I want to talk about your ring gear, but first, let's talk about what does it mean to be the Hollygrove Hoochie Daddy?
The Hollygrove Hoochie Dad. Oh my God! Do you hear my song, Roses? To be the Hollygrove Hoochie Dad is just how to explain it. It's just be me. You see me come out there, I enjoy. I love the energy the crowd gives me. Just the vibe. It's just for one, the hoochie dad can take your old lady. So sometimes you see me come out there, I have my roses. I find the prettiest girl in the crowd, throw roses at them. They love that part. Just I always bring the vibe and the energy, no matter what atmosphere I'm in there. No matter if it's in front of 10 people, no matter in front of 1,500 people, which I've done inside of Push Fest Center with along with Simon and a lot of other people, 225, and of course we had people like Mark Henry to show up in these big events. And when I go there, I always shine as bright as I can just by being who I am, being the Hollygrove Hoochie Daddy, bringing Hollygrove everywhere I go. Whether it's Mississippi, Alabama, Panama, Florida, Texas, I'm always going to bring the same energy to the same people, no matter what it is.
Awesome, awesome. And okay, ring gear, which is spectacular and it stands out. Trying to get into the process of finding that perfect ring gear design. Take me through that process. Is it trial and error? Is it a lot of it just takes a lot of time to think of, I'm pretty sure.
I went through maybe 4 gears before I just found that design I wanted. I went from having long shorts to having small underwear briefs to having the little shorts in the middle. Really inspired me to get this gear. I take a lot of inspiration from wrestlers like Kofi Kingston, Swerve Strickland, Kenny Omega, and Will Ospreay. I noticed how all these guys, they wear tights, kick pads, knee pads, and they always make sure they have something on their arm somehow. So I figured I'm gonna try and incorporate all these different aspects. For instance, I got one knee pad cover, like one always gold, one's black, or it don't always match. As you can see, there's always one sticking out, kind of like Kenny Omega or Will Ospreay has. I try to have my designs on the sides knocked down the middle, kind of like how Shane Strickland is. I mean, Swerve Strickland is. I kind of have tried to incorporate everybody to my gear until one day I was like, you know what? My gimmick is all about roses. Hollygrove Hoochie Daddy. My come out to Outcast Roses. So I decided to just wrap all that to one thing, which it came. My first gear was just black and red, but the blue, the black, gold, and it just comes out so beautiful, and I really enjoy it. The vest, I don't know where I came with the vest idea. I just, Scott Hall, I always had vests. I said it'd be cool if I come up with a vest, like vest like Scott Hall. So I decided to come with the vest. But it's hard to pinpoint what inspired me to get this gear, but it's easy to put everything together. Be like, okay, that makes sense. And to find that perfect seamstress, it was tough. I went through so many. Because I went to Lucha Underground, my first one, and they sent me a lot of gear that was tore up and didn't last very long, or it took 8 months to get my gear. It took me a while to just find this person I'm with now. She's very great. She actually made my gear maybe like I give her my design, and she makes my gear maybe like 2 months, sometimes like a month and a half, which is amazing to be able to have that before the next show.
I also saw the red and black with the bedazzled belt. I like that one. Where is it?
You know what? I really like the blue more. I still got the red. I still have it, the red. The red really sticks out. But I think a lot of times I come with the red, everybody thinks I'm a bad guy. I'm trying to get everybody behind me. Everybody thinks I'm a bad guy. Get to see the red. They see a big black guy, tattoos and red pants. They're like, oh man, that guy looks scary. With the blue, it's more opening. I might wear my red next time I had 225 or something like that. But I always do wear my blue. It just becomes something that everybody enjoy. Everybody loves the vest. And I like to wrestle with the vest and like to incorporate taking the vest off in the match. And everybody like, oh wow, look, who do you think he is? Just dancing in the mirror without the vest don't feel right. But I was dancing and taking the vest off. It just feels so natural.
Okay, I understand. The blue is better, but it was just the bedazzled belt that really stuck out to me.
You don't see the bedazzled belt in the blue? You don't see that beautiful teal bedazzled belt?
No, because like everything else is very, it pops out at you. So it's there's a lot of detail. Okay, I didn't notice it in the blue. Okay, well, I'll have to go and look to go see. So what is the meaning behind the roses?
I always did like that song, Outcast Roses. Roses really smell like poop, poop. I always did love that. So just coming out. And when I first started wrestling, I always come out with like rose petals. Before I had the jacket, I used to have rose petals all the time and have my hands full of rose petals and then make a big entrance and throw rose petals in the air. And it'd be like just amazing. And from there, I started to progress on to just giving roses out. Now I got into my gear to where it's like I don't really need to throw the roses as much, but it's in my gear and it's in my music. And besides, one thing I always did love about rose, man, is I don't know, it's weird. I always did like roses. I believe not enough men get their roses. Now we don't get the flowers these days. You know what? So I always do feel good to go out there and to beat somebody in the ring and then here's a rose for you, my friend. Go in there, dance a little bit and say, hey, here's your roses. I don't know. It's just weird. It's weird to how I incorporate roses into a whole character, but people really are attached to that rose character. Like when I throw the roses, people go crazy for it. It's just weird.
But yeah, it's always the things that you don't think people would care too much for or react to that always work. So.
And it's just Outkast. It's the most outlandish song in the world, and everybody just pops to it to the point where like I go to a place I've never been to, and people don't know who I am. But like they'll hear that song and people just be up there singing the song as I'm making my intro. So everybody think people know me, but they don't know me. They just know the song. Like even these crazy towns where I feel like, oh man, they're gonna boo me here. They're gonna hate me here. But they hear that song and they see me coming out there all jolly, smiling, dancing, and giving roses out to people. Come on, man. You can't hate somebody like that. You can't hate somebody with that much energy and just throwing roses. Who bring roses to a wrestling event? Now I gotta prove to the guy who I'm about to fight that I'm tough. I got roses in my hand. So it's just hard to. I don't know. I love it. I enjoy it.
So the Mississippi Rumble is coming up, but by the time this is posted, it'll be after. But I wanted to ask you. This isn't your first Rumble. You were in the Super Bowl Rumble. I've always wanted to know, how chaotic is it to wrestle in a Rumble?
You never know. You never know who you're going to see in there. Come out that curtain. You never know what's going on in that ring when you come out. And, a lot of times I feel confident before the match happens. But when I hear my music, I got that slow piano music before it starts. When my music hits, I always be like, oh, man, I'm going to go out there. It's going to be like 20 guys in the ring already. Oh, my God, somebody going to pick me up and throw me. But you know what? Once my music hits and I come out the curtain, everything goes away. I forget everything. When I hit the crowd is like the energy is just crazy. And again, to get in there, the madness that's going on already when you walk in that ring. Everybody looking at you. Everybody staring at you. Everybody like, oh shit, this guy is fresh. We all beat up. So that's a game up for this guy. So like you always gonna find that one guy in the middle of your peak of your moments. It's gonna stop you and just do some horrible things to you. Then everybody gang up on you. Everybody try to throw you out. You all try to throw somebody else out. It's always like a struggle. It's a struggle trying to get to be the last guy to 30 people, 40 people. It's always that struggle. And the way I hear it, this Mississippi Rumble is gonna be crazy. Crazy. The way I'm hearing, there's so many names that's popping up they already announced, and so many names that they haven't announced yet. And we're already looking at 40 people, maybe 45 people. Of course, and that belt matches my blue gear. Come on now. That blue strap matches the teal blue gear. They gotta give the Hollygrove Hoochie Daddy. I have to come out on top. They got to. I think everybody should just get out the ring once I get in there, to be honest with you. Just make it easy for us. Give the crowd, with the people what they want. The Hollygrove Hoochie Daddy with a beautiful blue strap belt.
So growing up while watching wrestling, are there any matches that you were like, I definitely want to do that. I definitely want to be a wrestler?
You know what? People gonna hate me. They're gonna hate me, but the match that really got me. Like I was always a wrestling fan, but what really got me was Stone Cold versus Booker T inside that grocery store. That was a match that I was like, oh man, that is crazy. They tore the whole store down, just pouring milk on each other, throwing food items. This is like I didn't know that wrestling could be that goofy and that funny and that chaotic all at one time. Like if there's always been those blood matches, those grudge matches, but they have a few in the middle of a supermarket. That was the funniest thing in the world. So like that has been a match that made me be like, you know what? One day I'm gonna wrestle in a supermarket. I'm gonna go inside Rouse's one day and just tear down the house. Go inside Whole Foods, inside a bakery, and just throw a kick in somebody's face. That's one of those matches that you would never see again. You probably would never see somebody tear down inside a supermarket like we saw that time or with SmackDown with The Rock. I'm sorry, Stone Cold and Booker T.
My favorite question to ask my guests. I gotta ask everybody. Who were your favorite wrestlers growing up?
Kane, Bobby Lashley, Kofi Kingston, and Shelton Benjamin. I picked Kane because everybody loves Kane. He came out. He finally stopping the Undertaker in the middle of the Undertaker's favorite match, breaking down the cage, getting inside the tombstone. I loved Kane. And then when he finally broke out his shell and became Jolly Kane, Happy Kane, and then Hell No Kane with Daniel Bryan, that was hilarious. I always did love Kane. Bobby Lashley, a brute of a man. You know what I'm saying? You can't hate Bobby Lashley, especially that main event he had with Vince McMahon, Bobby Lashley, Donald Trump, and Umaga. Funny match, half match. That was a crazy match as well. Shelton Benjamin, somebody I always admire. Just somebody who's good in the ring and just go at it. Put him in the ring, anybody at a young age, the gold standard going. He just go at it with anybody. And Kofi Kingston, that's where all inspiration of my wrestling come from. Kofi Kingston, I love his moves, the way he swing around his body, how he just and what drew me to Kofi Kingston was that one. I always thought he was a good wrestler, but it wasn't until that one promo for SummerSlam when Triple H was like, "Hey, I thought you were Jamaican. Where's your accent?" And I was like, "Oh my God, he's not Jamaican." So it really just drew me to him from that point. Like, it's weird to say that I enjoyed that point, and from there on, I kept waiting for that one moment he brought that accent back. But he never did.
I too thought Kofi Kingston was Jamaican, But kind of piggybacking off of what you said earlier, I feel like I know, budget and all that comes into play as well, but I do feel like independent promotions should start, it depends, start incorporating more comedic, segments, matches.
I always believe that there should be a little bit more instead of like there's always gonna be those matches where people just matches people not really gonna like as much, and they got those crazy matches everybody gonna love. But to have even if they just add a manager in a match that does comedy things, so to take a little distraction off of things that don't really had a little standstill moments in the match where this manager could draw attention off of him and add a little comedy to it. I feel like just having a match going match, intermission, match, just kind of like you just had a show. Did you really entertain everybody? But sometimes you had these promos where you had these funny guys come out and it just draws the crowd in more to wait so to where after the mission, what's gonna happen next? But having match, hey, here's a match here, and it's like just after intermission, you gotta try to bring the crowd back up rather having that comedy relief in between. It's like, oh, I have a little chance to breathe now. I always did enjoy a little bit more comedy. Like Santino Marella, I love Santino Marella growing up. Just a funny guy, no matter where you put him at. Just an all-around funny guy. And he made Raw for a long time. People used to love watching Raw just because he knew he was going to be there. That's how I think wrestling should be. Just have one guy that you're going to love because he's going to be there every show. Which is hopefully I could be that guy one day. Not to Marella per se, but to have that same kind of energy to, oh my God, look at Hollygrove Hoochie Daddy's here. I'm going to see that show. Oh, the Hollygrove Hoochie Daddy show? The Hoochie Daddy, what? Just hearing Hoochie Daddy should be able to draw you into coming to the show anyway. So hopefully one day I could be that guy to just pull you in just by my vibe, my energy, like how these other guys did before me.
Of course, wrestling has, your diehard fans. They're going to be at every show no matter what, even with independent wrestling, But for the people who are just going there for the first time, or maybe it's their second time, are they going to stay? Are they going to come back after your show? Like,
people can watch wrestling anywhere. To be honest with you, there's so much wrestling in the South. You can watch wrestling anywhere. But what's going to draw you to that show? Were they entertained? Yeah, I saw a match here, but at the end of the day, what I've really realized, a lot of fans only really remember the very end of the match. You're not going to remember when I picked him up and threw him across the ring. You're not going to remember that, but you're going to remember if that guy beat me, if I beat him. But if you see me throw a pie at somebody's face in the middle of the match, you're like, oh, what's wrong with that guy? That guy just threw a rose in his face and just ran away and then came back and got beat up. They're going to remember that. Instead, they won't remember just, oh, this guy picked him up and ran across the ring and threw him here and threw him that. But if you add a little bit more story to each thing you do, you got that little more entertainment. You got that one person that entertain you in between everything. Like, I know sometimes I've been seeing lately in some of the shows, they always have that. People have these, not commentators, these announcers that come out, and they're very entertaining now. Some guys just come in to draw you in there. Like, I know some Spencer at 225, he draws the crowd in, or Edward King at Wildcat Sports, he draws them in and keep them there in between everything. So after a match, hey, this is going on, guys. Listen, don't worry about leaving, guys. We got way more wrestlers coming up. Instead of just being like match, intermission. Hey, we got 2 more matches coming up. You know, it just kind of kills the interest sometimes, I believe.
Mm-hmm. Also, I would like to see more live promos. Have a wrestler go out there and cut a promo.
Don't tell me what to do. Just give me some time. Say, hey, Raza, 5 minutes. I guarantee you're going to want me to get 6 or 7 or 8 because I'm just going to bring some energy. I don't know what I'm going to say. But when I get there, just best believe I'm going to say it.
If you could have any wrestler's entrance, who would it be?
I had to go with John Cena entrance. We came out with, I can't remember what WrestleMania was, but he had a whole lineup of John Cena's. They came out in a truck. Oh, man. Imagine having everybody dressed up like Raza Rayleigh in the vest, the tight blue pants.
A line of hoochie daddies.
Got the hoochie daddies lined up for me. A whole line of hoochie daddies. If I make my entrance, that'd be insane. I do need some hoochie daddies. I need some hoochies. So I might make a little group. The hoochies. Yeah. Might do that. So it got a little ring to it.
I mean, different. You ever seen a group of hoochies wrestling? No?
What is hoochie wrestling? Gosh.
Cut a promo for me right now.
Do you like professional wrestling, guys? Do you want to see the best professional wrestling here in the South? Well, guess what? You have to look far. You have to look fetch. You have to go wild your world to find professional wrestling where you have the Hollygrove Hoochie Daddy right in front of your face. We have somebody that bring such class, such standard to the professional wrestling ring. I don't know. It's hard to cut a promo. It's weird. May 10th, I have a show coming up on Mississippi Rumble, GCW. May 16th, I'm going to be inside of Fort Walton with Combat Sports Pro. May 31st, back with Wildcat Sports. June 12th, June 27th, and be with GCW. It's hard to shout a lot of people out. It's weird, man.
Thank you all for watching. Thank you all for being here. If you're not subscribed yet, please subscribe. If you enjoyed the video, like, comment, share. Come on, bro. On the road to 1K. We're almost there. Oh my God. Thank you so much. Hope you enjoyed the video. Tune in for the next one. Bye.